Hello guys, welcome to the Popcorn Podcast. My name is Dylan, of course, and I hope everyone's doing amazing. I'm not going to spend too much time waffling on with this intro, so without further ado, let's just get straight into my thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong. So, a brief synopsis of this film. For some reason, Godzilla is pissed, and he's begun his own reign of terror on humanity. Unable to stop him, the people at Monarch attempt to enlist Kong to not only try and stop Godzilla, but also lead them to an ancient power that could prevent possible future Titan threats. The film stars the likes of Rebecca Hall, Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Brian Tyree Henry, and Julian Dennison, amongst others. Do you know what? This film was alright. I mean, it's not amazing or anything, and there's definitely going to be people out there who just think this is straight up nonsense. And whilst they wouldn't be 100% wrong, I still had a lot of fun with Godzilla vs. Kong. The film sits in at just under 2 hours, and I didn't really feel the runtime. I thought the film was actually pretty well paced, and trust me, this is coming from someone who just rewatched all three of the previous MonsterVerse films in the same day. Let's talk about the fight sequences, because I mean, come on, that is what you're paying for at the end of the day. Are they any good? Yes, they are. At least I thought so. In fact, from a directing standpoint, I think this is where Adam Wingard actually shines the most. Where a lot of the fight sequences in the previous MonsterVerse films sort of felt very formulaic and just the same stuff over and over again, the directing approach in Godzilla vs. Kong actually felt really fresh and nuanced. There's a lot of points during these fight scenes where the camera would almost appear like it was attached to one of the monster's body parts. For example, if Kong was punching Godzilla in the face, you weren't just watching it from a wide angle. You were actually moving in unison with Kong's arm. And I think that was really great, and it was really immersive from an action standpoint. It doesn't just feel like you're sitting from afar watching these titans fight. Instead, it actually makes you feel like you're somewhat amongst the chaos of all these larger than life moments. And that directing approach isn't something we've seen a whole lot of in this franchise, and I thought that particular aspect of the filmmaking was terrific. I have to say also, the visual effects are straight up spectacular. The monsters look phenomenal, and the locations and colours on display are gorgeous. My favourite part of this film actually takes place at nighttime in a neon-drenched Hong Kong city, and that whole sequence is just a visual feast for the eyes. It actually reminded me a lot of this battle in Pacific Rim. With regards to both Godzilla and Kong as characters, both of them definitely get their moments to shine. However, I would say that this film slightly leans more towards a Kong film as opposed to a Godzilla and Kong film. And the reason for this is purely because we spend more time with Kong, and we see things and we discover things through his eyes. And it's almost as if Godzilla is painted as an antagonist for the majority of the film. So when it came to the fight scenes between the two, even though I like Godzilla, I was rooting for Kong more in those moments. Moving on to negatives, as you'd probably expect with this film, similar to the others that come before it, the human characters are pretty weak. Especially the main villain of this film, who is basically your typical corporate bad guy. It's not like anyone is necessarily giving any bad performances or anything, but it's just like the script doesn't do anything to flesh out the characters. There is this relationship between Kong and this young deaf girl that I was actually pretty invested in, but aside from that, I think a good proportion of the cast just didn't need to be there. Also, the story is very predictable and does descend into some pretty ludicrous territory. There's some stuff with the Earth's core and transportation that at some points I felt like I was watching a different movie. Also, when Godzilla and Kong are fighting towards the end of the film, the city in which it takes place, Hong Kong, the city's getting absolutely demolished. And I'm talking like Man of Steel destruction times 1,000. And whilst I was having a blast watching these guys fight, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, there goes another 100,000 people. Oh, there goes another 16 buildings. There's also a moment towards the end of the film, without giving anything away, where one character's logic is to pour alcohol over a computer system in order to solve a problem. And the funny thing is that it actually worked. So when that happened, I was literally like, whoa, what the f***? But in all honesty, I have seen worse. I mean, if you really want to see a dumb, stupid monster movie plot, go and check out Pacific Rim Uprising. Overall, I actually had a lot of fun with Godzilla vs. Kong. Of course, it's not amazing. It is a straight up B movie. I'd give it a B. It's really dumb. But if you want to see these two titans just have an epic battle, definitely check this one out. Like I said, the film is very silly, but I actually think it's an improvement over Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was just really bloated and had a way too long of a runtime. This one is definitely more concise and better paced, and I think it had some really good action and great visuals as well. When cinemas reopen in a couple of weeks here in London, I'm probably going to go check this one out again in IMAX. I think it definitely deserves that kind of viewing. I'm going to just go and just not take it too seriously and just go and have a lot of fun. So yeah. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts down below on Godzilla vs. Kong. I'd love to know what you thought. Also, if you love movies, TV shows, just cinema in general, consider subscribing to the Popcorn Podcast to jump on board the channel. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you very soon in the next.